Hey all, here at OS Reviews. This is going to be a very quick look at ZEERA's ZAAP Magnetic Charging Cables. You might be thinking charging cables are pretty boring, but what makes these a bit more interesting is they have a series of magnets built onto the edges, which allows it to more easily be bundled up when you're on the go, preventing the wire from tangling up. So it's very fast to stick back together and then release, making it much easier for cable management. Works for fast charging, works for syncing, and they typically sell for around $12.99 a pop, so not too expensive either, and it comes in a variety of different kind of tips and connections, whether that's going to be USB Type-C to Type-C or Type-C to Type-A. There's also a Lightning variant, easily releasing it and then putting it back together into your bag when you're traveling. So that's kind of how the action looks like, just in one very smooth way. So this might be a good idea even for maybe a gift in the upcoming holiday season, just an idea for a stocking stuffer, something small, but again, this is kind of what it looks like. Now the magnets also make it adhesible to other metal surfaces which are magnetic, including shelves, a fridge, or a door, so you can easily mount it onto the side of something and also take up a little bit less space, so pretty clever there. It comes in just this pouch, and because they're magnetic, you can see how they're kind of sticking to each other by default. So there's a sleeve that you get for carrying the cables or protecting it, and then inside here we have just the ZAAP magnetic cables. The first one here is a standard Type-C to Type-C, so this can work well with any standard Android smartphone these days, or even charging a laptop if you have a Type-C wall charger. And then a second one here is a Lightning to USB Type-A that's going to work for iPhones and iPads. Now, by the way, you can also arrange the magnets and positions into other orientations which are still tidy, but of course you don't have to just put it into that one design like this. You can also play around with the magnets and rearrange it, which can be a little bit fun, almost like a fidget toy in a sense. Now, one thing I will say though is it comes in only this one edition in terms of the length, so you can't really customize it to make the cable longer. That would have been nice to see, so maybe that's something that they can consider in the future. All of these, by the way, are around 1 meter long by default, so if you want something ultra long or even shorter, that isn't available just yet. Same thing goes with color schemes. All of them are going to be white in color, and because of this magnetic design, technically all of the parts inside here are actually slightly movable, as you can see there, which allows a bit of action since you will need to flex it and move it in different ways. So there's a ton of different kind of moving cable components that are stuck together. It's not just a simple magnet integrated into the plastic, but rather they're kind of cut off. You can see there are a bit of movement within the tubes that are segmenting the magnets, which is kind of interesting. So maybe other colors for the tubes or something that's glow in the dark could be other considerations if they're adding other variants in the future. Anyways, taking a closer look at just the cables now, again, they are stuck together very well, so even if you shake it, nothing will really fall loose. And then as advertised, putting the entire thing back together is also relatively simple and straightforward. It just snaps back into place, making it very easy just to put into a pocket, into a backpack, and everything will still be neat without tangling up. So pretty clever there, easy to pull apart, easy to attach back together. The plates for the connector tips are also made out of metal, so they do feel pretty sturdy. Again, the cables themselves support fast charging as well as data transfer. So if you connect it to a PC, you can kind of drag files around, works pretty well. And again, if you are using it with a compatible device, supports rapid charging, no issues there. Everything is still working as expected. And without surprise, same thing goes with the Lightning port for iOS devices, also works really well and charges it in the same speed as a authentic kind of Apple charging cable. Make the entire thing neat and tidy. So that's more or less it as far as your very quick hands-on look at ZEERA's ZAAP magnetic cables, which the function of is very simple, but it's just the built-in magnets which are making them a little bit more interesting and potentially useful if you're someone that really wants to keep things tidy, you're annoyed of having to use Velcro or something else for constantly unwinding and then putting things back together. If you always don't like tangled wires, this might be a really cool accessory to take a closer look at that also doesn't really break the bank. So thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the ZAAP Magnetic Charge and Sync Cable.